Honorable guest, respected faculties, dear participants, both offline and online, and my dear colleagues, a very warm good morning to all of you. I, Shivani Joshi, doctoral scholar,
and I, Chanda Kumari, doctoral scholar,
take the immense privilege of welcome you all on behalf of the Center of Excellence in Disaster Mitigation and Management, CoEDMM, IIT Roorkee, in the 13th International Conference of the International Society for the Integrated Disaster Risk Management, IDRiM 2023. This year's conference theme is Integrated Disaster Risk Reduction for Inclusive Sustainable Development, Science, Policy, and Practice Dialogues. The aim of IDRiM 2023 is to create a platform for the communication and exchange of ideas and information among and between the policymakers and researchers, for which your participation will help us achieve our goals. I extend our heartfelt gratitude to our sponsors for supporting and sponsoring IDRiM 2023 activities. Over the next 3 days, the IDRiM 2023 conference will provide opportunities to learn, discuss, and engage in dialogues for disaster resilience and sustainable development. We hope all our participants make the most of these opportunities. We, on behalf of CoEDMM, IIT Roorkee, wish each of you a pleasant and fruitful stay during your time here.
To begin with the inauguration program, I would like to welcome and invite all the esteemed dignitaries to join us on stage and take their respective seats. I welcome Professor Sumit Sen, Chairperson IDRiM 2023, Head CoEDMM IIT Roorkee, Professor Mahua Mukherjee, Organizing Committee IDRiM 2023 and Secretary General SADRI, Professor K.K. Pant, Patron IDRiM 2023 and Honorable Director IIT Roorkee, Professor Anna Maria Cruz, President IDRiM Society and Co-Patron of IDRiM 2023, Shri Rajendra Ratnu, IAS Officer, Executive Director, National Institute of Disaster Management, NIDM, Professor Durgesh Pant, Director, Uttarakhand State Council for Science and Technology, UCOST. I request you all to kindly welcome them with a great round of applause. Unfortunately, Dr. Mrityunjay Mohapatra, Director General, India Meteorological Department, IMD, and Vice President, World Meteorological Organization, WMO, is unable to join us due to some unavoidable circumstances. Thank you, dignitaries. We are honored to have you all. I now request Professor Sen to kindly welcome our guest, Professor Durgesh Pant, Director, UCOST, with a lovely bouquet. Thank you, sir. I request Professor Sen to kindly welcome Professor Anna Maria Cruz, President IDRiM Society, with a lovely bouquet. Thank you, sir. I now would request Professor Mukherjee to kindly welcome Professor K.K. Pant, Director IIT Roorkee and Co-Patron IDRiM 2023 with a lovely bouquet. Thank you so much, ma'am. I would request you to kindly welcome Shri Rajendra Ratnu, IAS Officer, Executive Director, NIDM, with a lovely bouquet. Thank you, ma'am.
Light is a symbol of brightness and prosperity. The lamp lighting ceremony is not only an act of illumination, but also a representation of the triumph of knowledge over ignorance. It is a symbolic reminder that education enlightens and empowers us to achieve great heights. So let us invite our dignitaries to come forward and perform the auspicious lighting of the lamp. both of you are looking for. Thank you, dignitaries, for inaugurating the ceremony. I now request everyone to please stand up in their respective places for Kulgeet.
जयति जयति वेद्या संस्थान जयति जयति वेद्या संस्थान गिरिशृंगो से अभिनंदे गंगा कल्याण जयति जयति वेद्या संस्थान जयति जयति वेद्या संस्थान शिक्षा आदर्शों में उन्नत जीवन शिल्पी शिक्षा आदर्शों में उन्नत जीवन शिल्पी संस्थान जयति जयति वेद्या संस्थान जन जीवन प्रसाद उठाते सेतु बांध भूखंड जुड़ाकर जन जीवन प्रसाद उठाकर सेतु बांध भूखंड जुड़ाकर अंतरिक्ष में यान जयति वेद्या संस्थान जयति जयति वेद्या संस्थान से जन हित जीवन नितर धरा जयति वेद्या संस्थान जयति जयति वेद्या संस्थान प्रेरणा से दीपित मन नव स्वप्नों से हर्षित लोचन प्रेरणा से दीपित मन नव स्वप्नों से हर्षित लोचन साथ की राष्ट्र जीवन Sansan, Jayati Jayati Vedya Sansan, Inauguration go say Abhinandit Ganga Jayati Jayati Vedya Sansan. Jayati Jayati Vedya Sansan, Jayati Jayati Vedya Sansan, Jayati Jayati Vedya Sansan.
Now, I request Professor Sen for the welcome address and to provide us with a brief introduction about the event.
Thank you, Shivani, and a very warm good morning to everyone. It's a beautiful morning. We are almost hitting our winter side, and it's a little cold, so we are thankful. So, honorable guests, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, and people on the dais and off the dais, we are really thankful and delighted to welcome you all officially to IDRiM 2023. Before we embark on this exciting 3 days journey, I would like to extend my warm welcome to our guest, Dr. Dugesh Pant, DG UCOST, and Shri Ratnuji from Executive Director IDRiM. Your presence here today adds immense value to the conference. I would also like to thank our Honorable Director, Professor K.K. Pant, IT Roorkee, for his presence in this inaugural session. I must also thank Professor Ana Maria Cruz, the president of IDRiM Society, and a lot of in-person IDRiM delegates coming from all the way to Japan to support and to have more collaborations with the people working in the disaster risk reduction. As a chairperson of IDRiM 2023, it is an honor to be standing in a room of people dedicated to disaster risk mitigation and sustainable development. Today, as we gather both in person and virtually, we have around 180 participants in this conference registered. Some of them are around more than 60% in person and around 40% in online mode. We are representing 18 countries in this conference of 3 days. It's a testament to the international appeal and relevance to IDRiM Society. I encourage you all to actively engage in technical sessions. We have arranged around 12 technical sessions. There are 4 board meetings and a couple of hands-on sessions for the young scientists. Our young scientist sessions specifically focused and tailored for budding researchers who are working very, very hard and to learn and to do a good work towards the society, towards disaster risk reduction. I would like to also not to forget that our team also has arranged a conference tour on the last day on 1st of October. And I would like to say that you to savor the beauty of Himalayas and indulge in local cuisine during the conference tour. Please join them, and you are still open for some on-site registration for that. We already have 50. The host organization, the Center for Excellence in Disaster Mitigation and Management, IIT Roorkee, CoEDMM, has played a pivotal role in orchestrating this event. The center is established in 2006, stands India's premium center dedicated towards disaster resilience. We are committed to education, research, and training. And we have played a role in strengthening the nation's disaster preparedness and response. A lot of our graduates have been working and serving for the IDRiM and NDMA at different places, at state level also. As we embark this 3-day journey together, let us remember that our collective achievements fill us with pride, making even the most daunting challenges, which we are seeing nowadays, which is very, very need of an hour to overcome that. So sense of purpose, let us begin this conference with enthusiasm and determination. I invite you all to explore also the exhibition stalls which have been established by our industry sponsors. So I would like to, just 1 minute left. So a team of dedicated volunteers will be happy to guide you, to support you. If there is any need, please do contact our volunteer batch. Thank you for being an integral part of IDRiM 2023. Together, we can make profound impact on disaster risk management and contribute to build a more resilient world. With this, I'll stop there. Thank you very much and a warm welcome to you all.
Thank you, Professor Said, for giving us such great insights into the event. I now request Professor Mukherjee to kindly come forward and address our gathering.
Professor Pant, our director, Dr. Durgesh Pant, DG UCOST, Mr. Ratnani, ED IDRiM, Anna Maria, IDRiM President, and IDRiM Organizing Secretary 2023, Professor Sumit Sen, dignitaries of the dais. I can see Professor Okada, Professor Tatanu Sensei, all of you, and all my colleagues and students and other delegates. Very good morning to all of you. I welcome you to the 13th edition of IDRiM 2023 on behalf of South Asia Alliance of Disaster Resilience Institutes as well. We at IIT Roorkee are thankful to IDRiM Society to provide us an opportunity to create an occasion to meet and exchange greetings, our intellects, interests, skill sets, and knowledge. Melting pot for the senior experts and the young professionals from diverse backgrounds. It's a wonderful opportunity. Local organizing IITR team, congratulations to you to develop such an inclusive program schedule where government, local bodies, NGOs, academicians, and all other actors are coming here to continue to have this intermixing and to take it to the next level. I hope this event shall be a game changer for many of us at their individual, organizational, and community level. I wish success to IDRiM 2023. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Professor. I would like to request the Honorable Director, IIT Roorkee, Professor K.K. Pant, to kindly embrace us with our words of wisdom.
Very good morning to all of you. Our distinguished personality on the dais, Professor Durgesh Pant, who is the Director of UCOST, Uttarakhand Council of Science and Technology, Sri Radhendra Ratnuji, IAS Officer, Executive Director of National Institute of Disaster Management, NIDM, Professor Anna Maria Cruz, President, IDRiM Society and co-patron of this current Congress. The coordinator of this event, Professor Sumit Sen, the chairperson of IDRiM, and Professor Mahua Mukherjee, the organizing secretary. All the distinguished personalities of the dais who have come from all over India as well as all over world, all the research scholars, all the participants for this conference. On behalf of IIT Roorkee, it's my pleasure to welcome all of you in our campus, which is known as the state of Devbhoomi, Uttarakhand. It has a lot of heritage and cultural value. If you look at the history of Uttarakhand, you will be able to learn the Ganges River, which comes from the Gangotri, the Himalayan belt, Hindu Kush Himalaya, and several other greenery, flowers and fauna, more than 1.5 lakh of these kind of herbal species which are available. So it has its own heritage value. As far as the institute is concerned, this is now in its 176 years, established in 1847.
and it has lot of its own crowns in its feather. When you look at 23 departments, 9 centers, and 1 school. Couple of the areas which are very unique at IIT Roorkee, like earthquake science and engineering, because we are today working on this disaster risk reduction, and this conference theme is on that. We have early detection of earthquakes. We have the land subsidence analysis, GIS technologies. We have the experts from the hydrology, hydro and renewable energy. We have the experts on International Centers for Dam Safety, which is again with the collaboration of Japan. So all these departments, and with an approach of multidisciplinary research, which has already been included in our curriculum also, we trained our undergrad to learn the value of the ethics and their responsibility toward the society. Having said that, when we talk about the theme of the conference, disaster risk reduction, we need to go back to the history, and we need to understand why are we going to have these kind of conferences, and why there is a need to train the society to learn their values, how to minimize the waste, how much plastic is coming every day, how much e-waste is being generated, and when we go to these tourism in the Himalayan belts, how much waste we are living there. This kind of awareness is very important. And we are the educators, we are the researchers, and we have to train the rest of the society that how to get rid of this kind of waste, what is their responsibility toward the society. I always tell the need is food, energy, and water, which is a nexus. And to get or to increase one value, you are disturbing the other if you are not taking the proper care. So we are talking now green energy. We are talking high quality food, agro-based food products. We are talking clean water. And for all these, the entire world, entire globe is working hard. In our G20 mission also, we have kept the carbon credits, right? We have kept the green credits now. And we always say that by 2070, India should be, that is the net zero carbon. That is already, we have given the motivation. So how to get rid of these carbon-based materials? That will be a challenge. And all these are, but if you are not doing that, the carbon dioxide level, which has gone to the environment right now, 412, more than that ppm in the environment, and that is causing the global warming, and which has caused the glacier melting, which has caused the increased level of floods, which has caused the entire disturbance in the universe, that is the disturbance in the ecological system. When you talk about the part of the countries or part of the world are in drought and rest of them are in high flood. We have to look at all these, and for that, I think the conference like this, when we talk about disaster risk reduction and management, I think a lot of policies have to come. Our different scientific bodies, Government of India is doing a lot of work and encouraging all the academic bodies to work in this direction. And this is where the role of STEM, when we talk about science, engineering, technology, mathematics, and healthcare, every part of science and engineering has to come together and then find a solution. So we believe in multidisciplinary approaches. We believe that how the new tools like artificial intelligence and data science, which are based on the large number of data, right, can help to mitigate these kind of disasters. So early detection, right, that is very important. New kind of sensor design would be very important. And then how to make the society aware, right? Don't put the overburden on our earth, right? And make the proper ecological balance. That kind of lesson should be given to the society. And as I always say, that it should be started from our home itself. So how much light we, right, every day use, how much water we consume every day. So that should be audited. Proper audit should be there. And if you are creating the waste, what kind of waste and how to get rid of that, you have to find a solution. Otherwise, don't generate the waste. I think with these short wordings, I would like to congratulate the entire team for coordinating this activity. Yesterday also we had a session on this, on Himalaya conservation, and we have to work jointly on these entire activities, because our earth is to be preserved, and sustainable development goals should be whatever the 17 sustainable goals are there, right? So how to just work for these to achieve these goals, that's very important. So I just once again welcome all the guests who are here. I hope their stage comfortable, and you will have a good stay here. So wish you all the best, and please feel free to interact any of us if you have any difficulty, and in future also I would be happy to interact with you, because it is the globe, right, which is therefore we are working, and whole universe is one. We always say Vasudev Kutumbakam, right? Entire whole earth, right? One earth, one family, and one solution, right? That is our right, and one future. So that is additional point which has come. So thank you very much. Jai Hind, Namaskar.
On behalf of the organizing committee and all our participants, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to Professor Pant for taking the time to be with us today and sharing his wisdom with us. Now, I would like to request Professor Ana Maria Cruz to kindly address our audience.
Prepared some little notes, but okay. I'm overwhelmed by the kindness, the beautiful lighting of the space to expel darkness. And so thank you so much. Good morning, distinguished special guest, our colleagues and friends, those who have come from far away and those who have come from less far away from the region, and of course from the local participants. It is with great pleasure and honor that I am here today as president of the IDRiM Society to welcome you to this 13th conference of the International Society for Integrated Disaster Risk Management, hosted by the Center of Excellence in Disaster Mitigation and Management at the Indian Institute of Technology in Roorkee. I would like to thank Professor Sumi Sen, Professor Pant, the director, Professor Sumi as the local conference chair, and his wonderful team for all the hard work in putting together what promises to be a wonderful, engaging conference. This is the second time that the IDRiM conference has been held in India. The 6th conference of IDRiM was held in 2015, IDRiM 2015, hosted by TIFAC or TIFAC, I don't know the pronunciation, at the Scope Convention Center in Delhi, including and demonstrating the great interest for disaster risk reduction initiatives in the country. Since 2019, we have not held the IDRiM conference in person due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic affected every corner of the planet, not only through the millions of lives that it was taken from us, but also it had profound effects on people's livelihoods, education, business, safety and travel, and the list goes on. But it also showed us that we are all interconnected, and maybe as Professor Pant was saying, we realize that we need to work from all points of view and from all areas to tackle disaster risk reduction by looking at sustainable development, climate change, and other issues that need to be addressed. I believe today we are better prepared thanks to the lessons of the past, But disasters, unfortunately, continue to affect us, such as the catastrophic earthquakes in February in Turkey and at the beginning of this month in Morocco. The deadly floods and dam breaks in Libya, and many, many others. All of these may pale against what we may see in the future, considering climate changes that are already fueling heat waves, wildfire, extreme localized rainfall leading to landslides and flooding, but also technological accidents, which unfortunately India has suffered this year as well. These disasters highlight the importance of today's conference, which seeks to bring together researchers and practitioners from around the world to share research findings and promote discussion and collaboration to address some of the most pressing problems for disaster risk reduction, which I think requires that we bring all of our knowledge down to the local level so that we deal with implementation. This comes to IDRiM's Society's vision, which places strong emphasis on research, but also on its policy relevance. It says, the IDRiM Society's vision is to be an inclusive international community for advancing integrated disaster risk management at all scales through high quality interdisciplinary research, policy design, and implementation science. Furthermore, we're committed to promote high research standards, encouraging research practices that bridge science, policy, and implementation. As you will see in the program, we have included presentations of early career scientists, which in the program, I guess they are YSS, Young Scientist Session presentations. We have invited many of you to help evaluate their work so they can participate in the YSS Awards. We are committed to promoting equity and intergenerational and international exchange. And so we have tried to balance in each session by specifically including a variety of researchers of different generations, different international backgrounds, to promote that dialogue. Given that we have also many online participants from many parts of the world, this has also presented a challenge for the design of the program. And so you might find that your presentation is not in the best session. We're really sorry about that, but we hope that the comments and views that you get will help you further your research. We hope that you will enjoy the excellent conference program, outstanding keynote speakers, and wonderful sessions. Just one last comment. If you do become a member of the IDRiM Society, or you're still thinking about it, we invite you to participate in the General Assembly, which will be held today from 6 p.m. in the NIGAM committee room. I guess that's in the NIGAM Youth Hostel. Okay. I wish you all a wonderful experience and hope that you will continue to participate in IDRiM activities as we move around the world to promote IDRiM for a safer world for all. Thank you very much.
It's an honor to have Professor Anna with us today. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and wisdom with us. I would like to request Shri Rajendra Ratnuji to address our audience.
Professor Ana Maria Cruz, President, IDRiM Society and co-patron of IDRiM 2023. Professor K.K. Pant, Patron, IDRiM, and Honorable Director of this beautiful, vibrant institute, IIT Roorkee. Professor Mahua Mukherjee, Organizing Secretary, IDRiM 23 and Secretary General of South Asian Alliance for Disaster Resilient Institute, SADRI. Professor Sumit Sen, Chairperson of the Society for 23 and Head of CoEDMM IIT Roorkee. Professor Durgesh Pant, Director, Uttarakhand State Council of Technology. All distinguished personalities from outside the country, from IIT Roorkee, and from other parts of India. Good morning to all of you. It is indeed an honor and privilege for a person with social sciences background to come with a different perspective to a conference, which is primarily participate, by the galaxy of scientists. But that also brings to the fore the today's theme of this conference is breaking silos between the science and practitioner and policymakers. I'm also happy to note that the very name of this society starts with integrated disaster risk management. So this is something which is very, very important, that these are the two real challenges that have existed. That one is that silos between the scientific community, the policymakers, and practitioners. There is another silos within the science, that we are all with a specialization, more and more specialization. There is a more and more reductionism into the thinking, and we sometimes lose the focus on the integrated and holistic reality. I draw your attention to a very interesting story in the Jain philosophy, which comes about a theory called Syadvada. This theory as you know, that all sciences and all knowledge emanated from the metaphysics and epistemology. Epistemology was one which later gone into the branching off into the literature, science, and the knowledge formation, and the metaphysics was the one which has gone into the further various sciences, whether it was a philosophy in the eastern part of the world or the western part of the world. So in this epistemological discussions in the Jain philosophy, this comes 800 to 1,000 years back, about a story of an elephant, where the 5 blind people are trying to decipher how the elephant is. One blind person catch hold of the trunk of the elephant and deciphers that the elephant looks like a horse pipe. The another person catch hold of the leg of the elephant and says that elephant looks like a pillar. Somebody catches hold of the tail of the elephant and says that elephant looks like a rope. And each one of them were right in their own respective proposition, but none of them have seen the reality in the holistic or the totality. So this is something which has been very much ingrained into the Eastern philosophies and Eastern thinking, where we have seen, as Honorable Director has referred in his speech about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that integration not only at the knowledge level, but also at the global level. The Indian philosophy and the Eastern philosophies always have believed that the entire world is one family. And I think it is a time and a junction when it is very, very important and imminent that we realize that we cannot work in isolation, whether it's the silos which are created because of the disciplines or the silos which are created because of the political boundaries. We have to realize that if we have to save the planet, and we have to see that we have to work in an integrated manner. And today's conference, which brings together the scholars from different parts of the world, is really reflective of this effort by this society to bring this integration not only at the disciplinary level, but also at the geographical level of different parts of the world. Now the question comes that is the technology and science have historically thrown always answers to the problem of environment, ecology, or it has created. I think the initial civilizational history, if we look at, it goes contrary to our belief that technology will solve the problem. Because we have seen that 2 lakh years back is the earlier forms of Homo sapiens which came into existence, and we find the earlier evidence in various parts of the world. And we have seen that the major milestone in the change of the human civilizational history has because of certain technological innovations. It was the Stone Age where the man learned to make certain tools and devices. Then it was, the pastoral economy, then the agrarian economy, where we learned that certain more metallurgical sciences came in the rudimentary form, where we learned that how to separate metals, how to make the devices from the metal. And we changed our habitat systems from more connection with the nature to a more, we thought that we have conquered the earth because of our wisdom. And we have understood that we are going to have a revolutionary change in terms of, growing of the food, grains, and that we have revolutionized, our thinking. But we have found that the deterioration in the planetary health as well as human health has coincided with the technological discoveries from the ancient times and ancient civilizations. So while starting with a little negative note, a little minority view that technology does not always solve the problem, but I think at this juncture, because that was the need and necessity of that time, and as there is a phrase in Hindi, avashyakta avishkar ki janani hai, the necessity is the mother of invention. And today, my dear friends, I think this process of degradation in the climate change, as well as the human health, whatever is this thing, is so chronic, it is so slow that we do not realize that we have reached the melting point. I come to another one small interesting story, that if you heard about a frog in the boiling water syndrome, I think I have traveled a few thousand years in the human history, and I'm left only with 1 minute to conclude. So I have traveled 3.5 hours coming and 3.5 hours going to Delhi. So 7 hours travel. So for 1 hour requires at least 1 minute. So I'll violate maybe the principle of 5 minutes by 2 more minutes, with your permission. So, sorry, I mean, the thought process gets disturbed because, anyway, coming back to, that how, at this juncture, when we are talking about innovation, the necessity again is that the climate change window is narrowing down. I will skip the frog and boiling water story because it's going to take a little more time. The point is that the frog in the normal water, which is gradually boiling, does not realize that when the water is going to cross the boiling point and it has to come out, and this frog dies against the contrary assumption, while the frog which is thrown into boiling water survives because it finds that it is too radical. So I think we are all like those frogs which are realizing that still time is more, but I think time is running out. And therefore, it is very important that at this juncture, when it's all the more important in human history that the time is running out, and I think we are left with only 1 decade or so to come out with those green technological innovations, which are not really disguised green and a pseudo green as was thought of. As for example, when the plastic was discovered, it was thought as one of the greatest green innovations, that it will solve the problem of cutting of the trees and it will be great. But I think we have realized that it is not as green as it appeared to be, and it is rather, a very dark innovation. So similarly, while World Intellectual Property Organization starts with a green book on, there is a green innovation chapter, I think we have to accelerate the entire ecosystem of technological innovation. I see that there is an Atal Innovation Mission. I see that there is a tinkering lab as well as incubation center in IITs, so are in the rest of the country. From that end of incentivizing a researcher or a student to innovate, how we can incentivize that more green innovation, more energy transition, going to a greener economy, and going to a new material economy, which is not based upon the principles of designed obsolescence and perceived obsolescence, but which is based upon the principles of circular economy and more insight into and connection with the nature. Just coming and summarizing before that, just like to tell that National Institute of Disaster Management, which is committed and which came as a National Center for Disaster Management soon after, is one of world's earliest center after Yokohama Conference in 1994, that this center was started in 1995 in this country, and which was converted as a national institute in 2003 and was given further a statutory status in 2005-6, is the one which firmly believes that we have to break silos, we have to mainstream DRR into various verticals, we have to have more inclusive DRR, and we have to have more integrated and a holistic approach. And that way, this forum, IDRiM, and the NIDM's ethos, its objectives, and its journey has a lot of similarities. And I think it's this institute will be more than happy to collaborate with many of you from within the country and outside the country to see that we really have institutionalized integration, and not in an event or conference whether we meet, we greet, we treat, and then we retreat and forget some of the ideas. But we institutionalize, we reaffirm our commitment, and we lead by example. And as Professor Pant was telling that how to change, and I think it pointed out, we have to lead by example, and we have to do audit. And maybe sounding little cynical, but I do not abstain from doing audit of even events where we are participating. A suggestion to organizers that maybe we avoid wrapping the flowers into plastic, or maybe double layered plastic. You know, today's bouquet was made more beautiful by having 2 layers of plastic. Maybe one single layer will be enough next time. So with that lighter note, once again, I compliment the organizers and this beautiful society to bring the galaxy of people together. Maybe slightly more number of policymakers would have made the desired objective more of policy, practice, and science better. But surely I may thread between the academicians and policymakers. So surely the learnings of this conference will take forward whichever are relevant to governance. With these thoughts, once again, I compliment you. I wish you good luck to understand and to interact and take the learnings from this conference and to act on them. Thank you very much.
I would like to thank Shri Rajendra Ratnuji for his inspiring and thought-provoking address speech. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to request Professor Durgesh Pant to address our audience.
Well, since the online lecture is about to come in, so very quickly I'll wrap up. And very, very eminent luminaries on the dais and off the dais, because you have come from all around everywhere, and diameter of the earth is about 12,400 kilometers. So from one side to other side, everybody is there. And as has been said, out of 8 billion people, the population of this beautiful little planet, but we think it is too big. It is not, by the way. So about 100, we have 195 countries and 117 countries. 18 countries have been, they are out here and online and offline. So it's a great moment. And see, the topic, and especially this IDRiM society, which is organizing, this is the 13th one, happens to be something big, something fantastic, because this is one planet. We not only got to save it, but I can say it for certain, because it is, you know, in the hands of very, very eminent people, because DRR is important, because climate resilience is important, disaster preparedness is important. Therefore, today's the whole thing, as my previous speaker was saying, policy governance is important, and for that, science of survival happens to be very, very important. So out of the entire thing, you will all be in agreement that science of survival, SOS, happens to be the takeaway from this conference. And because for that, our traditional wisdom and whatever we have done, this planet about 4.5 billion years, out of that, we know for certain And the last mass extinction that took place about 65 million years before. In the Himalayas we are in right now, there's only 50 million years old, only 50 million. So last mass extinction. And today I'm not saying it is some kind of a scary situation, but climate disasters happen to be something very, very pertinent. And this is a cause for concern for everyone. So I take this up because I would like to thank the director of this premier institution, premier wonderful institution, and Dr. Sen, because we take this as a prelude to the one World Congress on Disaster Management that government of Uttarakhand is going to organize in the month of November, from 28th of November and to 1st of December. So we will be going to have a session on this thing, 15-minute session, and we'll be talking about it. This is the thing. And 2 months down the line, we are sitting on, today we are standing on 28th of this September, 2 months down the line. And today already fog is there. So while coming from Doon, I could realize a lot of fog. So 2 months down the line is still more, foggy going to be smog or fog. So climate, all these issues are to be tackled. And because we will be covering all these issues in our allotted time, so strengthening climate action, disaster resilience, and with regard to all, be it volcanoes, quakes, cloudbursts, floods, droughts, tsunami, forest fire, avalanches, storms. So every day, virtually, as she was mentioning, our honorable president of this wonderful society, every day there is no day as such that there is no disaster in some part or other. So it's a very challenging situation for all of us, and good that it is being the conference is being held out here, and the takeaways will be these are going to be something very important for our World Congress going to be organized. So kindly do participate, and the session we'll be going to have soon. So I have covered about 2 minutes gap which was there. So you got to thank me, Dr. Sen, for all of this. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you so much, Professor. One of our dignitaries has joined us online. I would like to request the director of DPRI, Kyoto University, Professor Ichi Nakakita, to address our audience.
Thank you very much, for your kind introduction. Good morning, everybody. I am the director of the Disaster Prevention Research Institute of Kyoto University. I'd like to thank the IDRiM conference host and your team for your efforts to present.
Sir, we cannot hear you.
Oh. So,
Yes, sir, you are.
Can you?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, can I continue?
Yes, sir, you can.
Hi,
Please
okay.
start.
So I'd like to restart again. So thank you very much for your introduction. I am a director of the Disaster Prevention Research Institute of Kyoto University, Japan. I'd like to thank the IDRiM conference host and your team for your efforts to present what promises to be a lively and engaging conference. I'd like to express my deepest condolences to the many people that have suffered from the disaster risks, in particular, the people of the Morocco affected by the devastating earthquake on the September 8th, and the people of Libya affected by the catastrophic flooding on the September 10th. I'm profoundly saddened to learn of the many lives that have been lost and the thousands of people affected by these disasters. And these disasters highlight the importance of this year's conference theme, which seeks to strengthen collaboration and promote dialogue among the researchers and academics, experts and practitioners, and government authorities on understanding risk and on how to implement the risk reduction strategies locally based on the integrated disaster risk management peoples without losing sight of the competing needs for inclusive, sustainable development, climate change adaptation, health, education, and many other challenges. India and the Central Asia, as we know, are also at the risk of major disasters every year, including the earthquakes, tsunamis, and weather-related hazards that will inevitably be influenced by the global climate change. India has the largest population on the planet, a matter of the pride to this nation, but also an incentive and obligation to protect the nation against the many hazards posed by the region. So it is appropriate that we meet here to share our knowledge, insights, and the best disaster risk reduction strategies. The Disaster Prevention Research Institute of Kyoto University, through several senior faculty members, provided early support and leadership for what today is IDRiM Society. And I am pleased to note that these same faculty members and other DPRI faculty and students continue to serve IDRiM as a president, members of the board of the director, and members of the committees on the society. I remembered about 20 years ago, I attended the annual conference held at Italy and Beijing at that time. And also I have received this year's IDRiM program, and I'm impressed by its scope and the content. I am particularly impressed by the significant attention to the and the opportunities for students and young scholars. I see this meeting as opportunities for sharing our research and disaster reduction strategies, and as an important forum for networking and expanding collaboration on creatively addressing the many hazards shared by all nations as we confront the challenges of a warming planet itself. My best wish to all IDRiM participants attending this conference, both in person and remotely, for intellectually stimulating and productive meeting over the next 3 years. Thank you very much. And also, I'd like to beg your sincere pardon for my absence in this time in India. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor, for your kind words. I thank you all again for your presence and kind words. Over to you, Chanda.
Thank you, Shivani. Taking the event forward, it is an important culture to express our kind gesture to them who have taken their special efforts to make function a success with their presence. I request Professor K.K. Pant to kindly felicitate Professor Ana Maria Cruz with a memento as a symbol of our gratitude and respect. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. I request you to kindly felicitate Sri Rajendra Ratnu with a memento. Thank you, sir. I kindly request you to felicitate Professor Durgesh Pant. Thank you so much, sir. I now request Professor Sen to kindly present a memento to Professor K.K. Pant. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone. I once again request you to please kindly have a huge round of applause for everyone connected to this IDRiM 2023. I now request Professor Rupam Shukla, Professor CoEDMM, IIT Roorkee, to kindly come to the stage to present a vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Chanda. Honorable dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, participants both offline and online, dear heads, delegates, dear faculty colleagues, and dear students. As we now conclude the inaugural session of the 13th International Conference of IDRiM Society, it's a matter of great pride for me to propose this official vote of thanks. I, on behalf of organizing committee of the IDRiM 2023 Society, the entire CoEDM team and SADRI team extend a heartfelt thanks to you all, the dignitaries, the delegates, and the participants for your presence here today. I must mention a deep sense of appreciation to all the dignitaries on the dais, Professor K.K. Pant, Professor Ana Maria Cruz, Shri Rajendra Ratnuji, Professor Durgesh Pant, Professor Ichi Nakakita, who is present with us online, Professor Mahua Mukherjee, and Professor Sumit Sen. We are indeed thankful to you for your kind presence and for sharing the critical insights on integrated DRR and for inclusive sustainable development. Thank you again, sir and ma'am. At the onset, we would like to thank the IDRiM Society for the opportunity to host the IDRiM 2023 conference at IIT Roorkee. We are indeed thankful to all the members for their constant guidance and support during the process. Can we please have a great round of applause for the IDRiM Society? An event of this dimension cannot happen overnight. The wheel starts rolling months in advance. For the same, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the members of IITR community. I'm grateful and I extend a heartfelt thanks to all the faculty members who are in the organizing committee of IDRiM 2023 for their constant support. Can we again have a please round of applause for them? I'll take this opportunity to officially thank our head, Professor Sumit Sen, also the chairperson of IDRiM 2023, for his vision and execution of this conference. Thank you, sir. We are indeed fortunate to have your excellent dedication and motivation with us to execute this conference. Moving forward, I would like to thank our excellent, dedicated, and well-motivated student team of CoEDM, Department of Hydrology, Department of Architecture Planning, and the SADRI team, all the members, all the students who have left no stone unturned in organizing this event. Thank you all for this wonderful effort. I will also like to acknowledge the efforts of our CoEDM and SADRI staff members. You have made the best arrangement for this program, and we thank you wholeheartedly. Also, a special mention to our technical support team for facilitating this event in a hybrid mode. Indeed grateful for all these efforts. Last, but by no means the least, I would like to thank our sponsors and knowledge partners, UNDP, United Nations Development Program, DPRI Kyoto University, Himalayan University Consortium, HUC, IC Mode Nepal, the Department of Science and Technology, DST, the Asian Alliance on Disaster Research Institutes, the Uttarakhand State Council for Science and Technology, UCOST, TIFAC, DHI India, ADK Industries, Roorkee Industries, DLP Enviro. Thank you for your support in organizing the conference. Without your commitment, this pivotal conference would have not been possible. Thank you for supporting this inclusive dialogue on disaster risk reduction and sustainable development. Can we please have a round of applause for all our sponsors? IDRiM 2023 is one of the international conference in many international conferences that are being organized and hosted at IIT Roorkee. In our continued efforts to facilitate the academic exchange and international exchange, it's my pleasure to inform you that the Indian Society of Earthquake Technology, ISET, India's National Earthquake Engineering Society, established in 1962 and headquartered at the Department of Earthquake Engineering, IIT Roorkee. IIT Roorkee is preparing to bid for organizing the 19th World Conference on Earthquake Engineering, 19 WCEE in New Delhi in the second half of 2028. It is worth to mention that ISET is the founding member of International Association of Earthquake Engineering and had organized the 6th World Conference on Earthquake Engineering at New Delhi in 1977. On behalf of IIT Roorkee, Professor B.K. Maheshwari, President ISET, and former head CoEDMM has requested to seek wholehearted support from this August gathering for successfully winning the bid of this mega event. Delegates from different countries are requested to support India's candidature for 19th WCEE. Thank you very much. I once again would also like to thank Professor Nakakita for joining us online. We are indeed grateful for your presence, and we would very much like to welcome you here at IIT Roorkee whenever possible. I again thank you all for all your efforts in organizing the IDRiM conference, and I thank you all and wish you the fruitful next 3 years, 3 days ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor. I now request everyone to kindly stand up in their respective places for national anthem.
शुभ आशीष मांगे लागे तव जय गाथा जन जन जय 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 जय
I now request you all to join us for a group photograph at the back entrance of the LHC building. Please follow our volunteers. They will show you the way. After that, please join us for a high tea break on the ground floor in the foyer. We'll again be gathered here in the same hall for our keynote lectures and Technovision. At last, those who have not registered yet, they may complete their register procedures downstairs in room 004. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Itika. We are done here. Thank you. Professor Anna, we need to inform Professor. I think he's not able to get.